Looking like a baddie, I show up and make them stop. Wanna know my name so badly, cause I run this whole block. Flip my hair, move my head, show the world I'm royalty. When I walk by, they be taking bows, cause they know I'm a queen, yeah. Move it, move it, groove it, groove it. They wanna know just how I do it when I do it, do it. I got that magic touch, it's a rush, pulsing through my veins when I show up everybody.
Hola mi gente, what's going on? It's your girl Linda Lynn. How are my peeps doing tonight? Thank you for joining me on this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday night. We have an amazing show, guys. Like, you have no idea. I think this is the first for me, and I'm so excited for my guests. You're going to have to hold on because it's going to be a major surprise. So before we get to that, let's go to our birthday shout-outs. And happy birthday, feliz cumpleaños to all the Leos. I believe we're still in Leo season, right? Yeah, I think we have like another week. But a very, very, very special birthday shout out to my mom. Mami, feliz cumpleaños, te quiero mucho. Felicidades, te amo, mi reina. It's my mom's birthday this past weekend, so happy birthday, mommy. And guys, you know what, we're gonna go to a commercial break, and when we come back, there's gonna be magic in the air. It's going to be magic. So let's take a quick commercial break so we can come back and get right to it, to my amazing guests. So stay tuned, and I'll see you back in a minute. Oh my goodness, and with no further ado, drum roll please, we have my special guest in the house. I want to welcome JoshPele, our magician and slash mentalist. I gotta know, first of all, welcome, welcome, and welcome. I am glad you're here with us. You need to explain, what is a mentalist?
Yeah, so you get that question a lot. Magic and mentalism, are they different? Are they the same? The answer is really yes and no. So magic, people already have their assumptions. Card tricks and this and that, it's really more. And the mentalism is the fun stuff. You know, when you do a magic trick, people are always like, but can you read minds?
Right.
Reading minds is more, that's what mentalism is. So we're doing tricks where, you know, I do have a stranger challenge me and ask me to figure out something about his past, his childhood, who he's thinking of, and I somehow am able to divine his thoughts, divine memories, divine acts. So it's a
That is
fun
very,
industry.
very interesting. So, okay, so because there's so many questions, you know, not only for myself, but I'm sure all my audience, people, if you really want to get a feel of what's going on, the magic in this room, I suggest everybody go to Facebook or YouTube, Linda Lynn or Strong Island Television, and share the video. The more, you know, shares, the more views, and the more everybody gets to know what is going on. So first question, what made you get into magic? At what age did you know you had this ability? Like, I want to know it all.
I think I've always had the ability, and I never knew. And it started about 3 years ago, roughly.
Oh,
So pretty
okay. That's pretty recent, yeah. I'm still
Yeah.
gonna say, yeah, when I was like 3 years old, you know, in the playground, you know, I started like picking up the kids with just my, you know, like, you know, levitating up in the air. That's how I figure out my power or something. But so it was pretty recent. Okay.
Yeah, you know, you have those people, they get a kit when they're young, that's what sells them. The magician gets them when they're young, so it's always those childhood memories. For me, it was accidental. I was on a trip to Italy, to Milan specifically,
Okay.
and I brought a deck of cards with me for the plane ride. I was one of those people that sleeps on planes, but
Okay.
if I
Like
couldn't-
me.
but if I couldn't fall asleep, it's a problem because I have 6.5 hours cramped in a space and bored
Right.
out of my
Absolutely.
mind. So the deck was something to just play with, like a Rubik's, like my
Did
version
you
of
always
a Rubik's-
play with like cards? Did you always
No.
dabble in it? Did you just, or
No,
it's
it's
just something
just-
that
it's just
something was
something-
telling you, play with the cards, play, there's gonna be
Yeah.
magic in the air.
Yeah,
like,
it's just like a fidget toy. You know, like if you ask, you know, some people have Rubik's Cubes in their house. Whether they know how
Right.
to solve it or not, they fidget with it, but not everyone does. And same thing with fidget spinners when those were big, but no. But then like the one fidget toy that like everyone has in their house is a deck of cards. It's like you always have your keys and your phone, your pens and your notebooks.
Right.
And cards are one of those. So for me, that was my fidget toy. I didn't play with Rubik's Cubes or fidget spinners. Mine was cards. So I have the cards. Don't fall asleep on the plane, and so that's the problem. I'm playing with cards. Don't do card tricks, don't do magic, don't do card games, and even if I did, I'm by myself, so I have no one to play with. So I'm literally just fidgeting with these cards. But an idea came to me. Now, because I don't do magic or do card tricks, I have no idea if my idea is an idea, if it makes sense, or if it's even a trick.
so it's just something just came to you that
So-
you
so-
said. It
so-
wasn't like you said, oh, let me. I mean, I don't know, you know, magicians. There's like magic school, like you know, Harry Potter or something like that, like that. Where every, you know, but if something just came to you, not knowing if you were, that's very unusual.
Yeah, you know, you come up with an effect, and if you're a magician, you're gonna know, oh, this is an effect. How do I make it work? How do I try? I'm not a magician, so I'm not thinking, how do I make this effect? I'm like, is this anything? It just came to me.
Okay.
But I don't know anything. I have no way to know. So my result was when I landed in Milan, I went up to a bunch of strangers. I went up to people on the street in front of the churches, people in the subways.
Wait, so the first time that you picked up a deck of cards, it already made you want to go up to strangers and like something told you,
Well-
something's making me, the magic in me is telling me to go up to these strangers?
Well, I had the idea for the
Okay.
trick, and I wanted to
So
know.
this idea that you have already
trick.
in your while you're on the plane?
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta know if like this trick works. If it's a trick, I want to know. Like, I'm curious.
Okay.
It came to me. I don't want to just be like, oh, that would be interesting, and then drop it.
Okay. Now,
I have to
before you
see it
even
through.
get to that, having to do something like that, go up to total strangers and just, you know, see if a trick works. Are you a very outgoing person to begin with that you just usually go up to strangers, or is
Yeah.
this something new to you too?
Yeah, I think I've been like going up to strangers my whole life. I mean, you know, as a kid growing up in sports, they always teach you to shake the other team's hand. So, you know, every game you play, that's like 20 people that you're going up to.
Okay,
by
but
force.
this is different, Josh. Like, I don't know.
Well, it's just like all my life.
This is a
I'm
little bit
interacting with
different.
strangers.
Okay, I gotta hear this because something in you was like drawing you. You know, maybe there was, you know, some type of entity next to you that says this is your calling. Like, I need to
Yeah,
hear.
it didn't tell me it was like calling, but it was just an idea I had to
Okay,
see
you had an
through.
idea and you got off the plane. Now you're on vacation.
Well, I'm visiting a friend.
Okay, you visited a friend. So instead of going straight to your hotel and
Well,
your friend,
I
you
didn't do it the
decided to
first
go
day.
to. Oh, okay.
I don't
okay.
remember-
All right,
I don't
let's clear
remember
that out.
now.
You didn't come off the plane going up to strangers.
No, I had
Okay.
to sort out where I was going. I don't think it was the
Okay,
first.
now it
but,
makes sense. All right.
But it was within those days while he was showing me around where I'm like, hey, tell them, translate this for me. And then I'm just
Okay.
like, take a card. So I'm trying the card trick with the translator because a lot of people in Italy don't speak English. It was really, even he lives there his whole life. Even he was shocked to see how little they spoke English. Like the
Right.
people that we were going to people all over, different places. So we're really kind of stratifying the groups. There's like no English.
Right.
And I don't speak Italian, so I'm glad I had him. I'd say something and he'd say it back, and it'd
Right.
be like a three-way combo. But just doing that one trick over and over, and people were loving it. The people on the streets, the people on the subways, the people on like the metro buses, whatever
So
they're
there's
called.
one trick that you wanted to try out. You would just.
I needed to know if it was a trick. I needed to know if it was good, and as soon
But
as
have you? Because I'm trying to. I'm trying to absorb this. So you did you see this trick before somewhere?
No,
Did you say, I saw somebody do it. I want to see if it works. Like this one trick just came to you.
Yeah, because it's like if you see it somewhere, you know it works. Because if it piques your interest, that means it worked.
Okay.
So it's like if I were to see it somewhere, I wouldn't need to ask myself, is it a trick? If it works,
Okay.
it would have been done. It was just I have this that I came up with. This is how I'm gonna do it, and I want to know what I can do with it. I'm gonna go try
Okay.
it and see if people react well, then it's good. And if they don't,
So how long
is a-
before you actually were practicing this trick?
no, I
That,
came up
like-
with the idea and then I went and tried it because I already.
Wow, you're.
I had well, like
Talk about entrepreneurship
Well-
and like getting things done. That didn't take long before you were out there already in business.
well, like the idea, it's like when you have a trick, right? You have to think about what are you gonna do, and then you gotta think about how you're gonna do it. And then if you're a magician and you're working professionally, then
How
you
long
got
was the flight?
6.5 hours.
In 6.5 hours, this just came to you, and you
Yeah,
were
at
just
some
thinking about
point
it.
in those
Okay,
six-
I'm just
yeah.
trying to get a grasp of this because it's hard for me sometimes to even like think, what's gonna be my next line or what I can't even like when I go on a trip like that, like I'm definitely going to sleep.
Well,
So
it's like if you know someone, like if I told you right now, Linda, you're gonna run into someone really important, someone that would help your business, someone that you really want on the show, someone that's good for whatever goals you're trying to achieve, whatever, or just someone that's good for something you've been playing with in your head.
Right.
This person that like you need or want to see is gonna walk through those doors. You're gonna have 3 minutes with them, and then they're leaving. And whatever objective or goal you have, you're gonna figure out. You know that there's 3 minutes with that person. You're gonna figure out what you want to say to them or how. You're not gonna have a deck ready or anything. Someone tells you right now. I'm sure if you thought of someone right now that you really could benefit from with whatever you're trying to go through, and it's someone that isn't easy for you to reach. Maybe you don't have contact with them, or maybe you do and it's impossible because they're so busy. Someone you've been chasing down. If I told
Right.
you 3 minutes, in 5 minutes they're walking through that door, you have 3 minutes with them, you'll probably come up with something that you have prepared.
I'll probably just die right there if that was true.
Well,
because
that works too, but I don't know how effective that would be because you can only do it once.
Okay.
But I'm sure if you had another way, it would probably
But that's
work.
incredible. So you had this idea, you tried it out, and from that one trick, you just knew you had it in you, like.
Well, yeah, it's like the beginning of the avalanche. So you come back to the U.S. after doing a trick over and over with a lot of great feedback. Don't even know how many people.
That one trick.
That one trick. I don't know anything else. I'm not a magician. I don't do card
Okay.
tricks, and this is the only thing I came up with.
Okay.
I wasn't trying to come up with more at the time. I was just doing
Do
this.
you have more now?
Oh, I can't
Oh,
even tell
I was
you.
just saying, are you still stuck on that one trick?
I can't tell you how many. So they came back, and someone was like, try this one. He saw it going viral on YouTube, and I looked at it, and I was like, I think I could do it. Like, I don't know if, at the time, I didn't know how the guy was doing it or what. I had my version of
Okay.
how you could do it, and I ended up being right, which is kind of cool. But my version, I was like, okay, this is how I would do that. I took a video at home in my kitchen, and I posted it on my Instagram story.
Okay.
And now this is like, it's hard for people to remember the timeline of Instagram, but like
Okay.
three-ish years ago, and it feels like it's long, but 3-ish years ago, there still wasn't video on Instagram.
Okay.
There still wasn't liking people's stories. There still wasn't reels. Like, not
Right.
even reels. Like, I don't even think video as a post. Like, it used to
Right.
just be those squares. And then it came to reels. Like, none of that functionality. So the only real video format you would do was your story. And I'm just like a random guy.
Okay.
No one cares when guys post stories. Doesn't matter what it is. So when I posted that video and suddenly people were like swiping out because they can't like the story. It's not like today where you could get like 30 likes and 4 reactions. It's only people swiping up because that's the only interaction with the story they can do.
Right.
And now I have all these DMs from one video. I've never had anyone react to stories. 1, 2 people. Now I have 10 or more, which in comparison, that's a lot.
Right, okay.
So now I'm like, okay, I'm onto something. Instagram did still have like story functionality, so you could put like polls up there.
Right.
So I asked, I was like, should I make like a page for this? 2 videos, right? In Italy went well. This video did well.
How long were you in Italy doing?
I was there for like 2 weeks, and like the whole
Okay.
time, whenever I had a chance, I would do
And
that.
so
trick.
everybody just pumped you.
Everyone
and
just
you
liked
knew
that
when you
trick.
came back that.
Yeah, so I came back with like this interesting feeling. I liked the attention. I liked doing it. So.
And you pick up very quickly because obviously, like you're already like doing like so. You're doing so. Your title is like celebrity magician because basically you've been around a lot of celebrities, and you know you obviously catch them off guard. You know they don't think right.
Oh,
So
that's great.
one that really that stuck with me when I saw. I think we had one video when you were actually doing J Balvin. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows who J Balvin is. Hello, like who doesn't know who J Balvin is? You know. So I thought it was pretty funny his reaction as well. So let's just take a look at that and see how that went.
Yes. So give me the card. I'm gonna put it back in the deck. Can you open your hand for me? Put your other hand on top. Now I'm gonna take a random card, not yours. 1, 2, 3. That's not it, right? No. Can you hold that for me, please? I'm gonna find yours. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Is this it? Yes. Now, that's not impressive. This is what we're gonna do. You're gonna be the magician. When you count to 3, all the cards are gonna disappear. Let's do it.
1, 2, 3.
They're gone. Open your hands.
With my hand?
So, first of all, how does it feel to be even in the? I mean, did you even know who J Balvin was before?
Oh, of course.
Okay. So, so how do you get yourself noticed to go and want to do a trick in front of celebrities? Is it somebody that tells them, hey, somebody here wants to trick you?
No, it's just the network was built. Like the J Balvin story, that's not even an event. That's an after party at my friend's birthday. Like that's just in a hotel room.
Okay.
Casually, no party, and just after.
Here
it
in
all.
New York?
Here in New York, in Manhattan. The
Okay.
night was, I go to my friend's birthday. Used to be a, well, she still is. Does bottle service. But she used to do it at Tao Group.
Right.
And she switched to different clubs in Manhattan. And I started going out in New York. So it was last summer, and I'm going out to Brooklyn Mirage a lot. I'm pretty into EDM and raves.
Yes.
And I'm going to a lot of shows there, and I it'd be cool to meet DJs, and I somehow ended up getting backstage a few times.
Okay.
And then after a few times, everyone knows me, so now I'm getting backstage a lot, and I'm doing a lot of DJs. At that point, I've done a few celebrities.
Okay.
I had like Vanilla Ice under my belt, which is like an OG, and
Okay, of course.
a couple of celebrities, but like scattered. Vanilla Ice was like one rapper, one actor, one of any
Right,
category.
of course.
But I'm doing a lot of famous DJs, and these are like big names. Like if people know house music or dub, like Excision, he's like the biggest dubstep DJ. Martin Garrix, everyone
Of
just
course,
knows. 'cause
absolutely.
He's huge. So I'm doing a lot of DJs, a lot of famous DJs, they're all celebrities. And then I'm like, oh, like I want to do more. I have like 40 DJs that are the biggest in the world, but I have 1 rapper, 2 actors, 3 athletes.
Is that what you're going for? Is that the
Well, the goal is just
repertoire
like
you're going-
everything,
okay.
Like I always want to perform, so I always want shows. It doesn't matter if it's a celebrity gala where I met you with a bunch of celebrities, or if it's
Yes,
or if
by the
it-
way, that's where we did meet,
Yeah.
doing the celebrity.
Yeah, to me, I just love it.
shout out to CSE.
Yeah, CSC's great, all great people, and it doesn't matter to me if it's celebrity gala with 20 celebrities, or if it's your random person's child's 9th birthday. I just love performing.
Okay.
And I love doing it all because all of it's good for business. It's good for me. It's good for my brand. It's good for the people I'm performing for. It's a great service that I give because. You could rate me 5 stars on Google, but you're gonna get a 6-star experience. I always go extra.
So question here. So when you do these tricks or these magics or these mental, I hope you give a demonstration later so we understand.
Of course.
But has anybody kind of like challenged you?
Well, all the time. everyone's going to challenge you or everyone's going to say stupid things like, can you make my wife disappear? Can you make me $1 million? So I have stuff prepared for those comments. It's just always funny.
Okay, but what about somebody who maybe was into magic itself or some kind of something? It's like, I know what you did there, or I know how, or bluff, or like kind of even messed up your routine or your trick. Have you ever had one of those?
Oh yeah, I've had them all. But the thing is like someone saying they know how it's done is really easy to weed that out because there's magicians and there's tricks for anyone, and then there's tricks that'll fool even magicians. So regular tricks are great because no one knows the difference.
Okay.
And it's all about like how you react, right? If the first trick that you see on YouTube, that's a 5-minute tutorial anyone can find.
Right.
But if that trick gets me screams like that one that I did for J Balvin is not a 5-minute YouTube thing.
Right.
And to do it and execute are even more nuanced. But the idea is if I can get that reaction from a trick you can Google on YouTube, why would I do a trick that takes 2 years for someone to say, hey, that was pretty cool? Because that's what we want to get. We want, like when you do something cool, the focus is on you. Like he just showed me something.
But
cool.
how would you shut down the idea of somebody saying you did it like this? This is how it's done, or it's like they've already called you out.
Oh, because it's always like there's not a lot of variety in the call outs.
Okay.
So like if I were to take all the people that have ever called me out and somehow had a clipping of that, you would see they all say the same or more or less similar things.
Okay.
So it's really if I have one thing I'm going to do for that scenario,
okay,
it cancels all those out. So I'm doing something, someone's like, I see what you did there. I'm like, okay, cool. I won't say what did I do there because now it seems like I'm challenging them.
Right.
And it seems like an argument. It's like if an idiot was talking to you and trying to start an argument.
Right.
It's a lose-lose.
Okay.
Because if you win that argument, you look like an idiot for arguing with an idiot. Or you could keep your ego quiet, don't say anything, make it seem like you're the loser. But like as soon as you engage with someone dumb, you're dumb. Now I'm not saying people that challenge you are dumb, but the same principles. If they say something and I say no or go, it seems like I'm arguing or trying to be protective. And so for what I do is they say, it depends on what they say. So if they say, I know what you're doing, I'm like, nice, don't spoil it for everyone else, but I'll do something that'll really get them. Because I know that they don't actually know it, and I just continue with it. And as soon as the trick's over, they're going to realize that they didn't know it.
Now, if somebody really did know it, you think the person who doesn't call it out, you think he'll just keep it to himself and let you go on with your...
Yeah, there's, like, of course, like I do, like, the few tricks that are, fairly common. And in the sense that these are things magicians love doing. They're great tricks. And that's what I do as openers a lot of the time, right? Like, I'm not going to do my best trick first because I have nothing to follow up with it. So I'm going to do something that's really good and hits hard. Those people could probably know if you did know a few tricks. So I'm going to start with those, and you're going to have the people that know it, and then they're going to smile because they don't reveal, and then you give them something that they don't know, and then they're going to be crazy. And then there's the people that want to call you out, but when I do those, you kind of can tell from the audience already if there's someone like that.
Okay.
And so I do things. So for example, if something's
done... So you have to think quick.
Well,
like you have to like...
I mean, if you need to, yes.
You're trying to do your trick, but at the same time, you have to, be...
well, the trick's going to work regardless. The key is like audience management. Like I said, you could do a trick perfectly and everyone goes, okay, because they don't understand what you did.
Right.
Or you could do a trick and everyone's freaking out. And the difference isn't the trick or how you're doing the trick. The trick is just it's your people skills. It's managing the audience and control. So as I'm going to a group and I see like, oh, they're all friendly, it's going to be okay. I don't need to do anything. If I need to, I do. But when I go into a group and there's that one person that's challenging or that's the best person to do, because if that person, he or her is demonstrating their doubts, people are like, is it bullshit? He said it's bullshit, or is it real?
Okay.
And as soon as you do a trick for that person and you get them, and they go from, oh shit, now the whole group is gonna match that energy. So like the people that are skeptic, more times than not end up being better for me. Because their friends and their family that are with them that are like, oh, don't ruin it, or something like, what happened a minute ago when you were saying it's bullshit? You're like jumping out of your seat for you, so they can like set the tone better for me.
Yeah,
so those people I actually enjoy to an extent.
Well, it's so funny because I wish you know what? I don't even know what happened to. I thought I had taped one of the tricks that you actually did for me, and and. Like, it's hard not to say that it was mind-blowing. I mean, because it makes you think, like, you really want to think this, like, wait, how did, that was, you wrote down on a piece of paper, what are the numbers that I was supposed to pick? Like, I know there has to be somehow. There's no way that you knew two sets of different numbers that I chose, and then next to it was like a list of, I think it was movies, and the other one was like celebrity. It was like, what, 1 through 100, both lists. I picked up. I was like, wait, and then you already wrote it down, gave it to me, if I remember correctly, and then when you had said what it was, and then when I opened it was the same thing. It's like, no, how is that possible? There's no way. Wait, no. Did something blind, like, this is, like, you know, one is to believe, like, magic is not real, the tricks, but when you really actually, like, do, it's like, how can you not, I know it's a trick, but is it really magic? Like, is it like, you know, because you just can't believe how was that trick done, you know? So it's really absolutely, mind-boggling. It's really mind-boggling, you know? But so it's fascinating. So what is your like next step from here? Like, what do you want to do from here? Like, take your show on the road? Is it like? Yeah,
I mean, you know, it's a loaded question because it's like, do I want to focus more on the celebrities? Do I want to just do more shows? Do I want to do more shows traveling? And like, you know, I like all shows, right? Like I do the kids shows, I do colleges, I do celebrities, I do galas, I do fundraisers, I do weddings, I do funerals, which has happened before. There's like, there's nothing I can't do.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you make the dead person appear? Is that what they think that they're gonna hire you for?
No, it's to set the tone, like morale booster. You know, at the dinner after the wake, kind of keep people positive. Or sometimes even like, you know, I've had like a story like that. I got hired for a funeral because a woman's father died.
Okay.
But the story was like the father took the woman's mother on a first date to a magic show.
Okay.
Which is like a pretty cool. I was like, that's a pretty cool way to, you know, memorize their first date. That's a nice. So there's, you know, whether it's a magic history to the deceased or not, it's a good morale booster. It is weird, you know. Conceptually, it's like.
Hey, like, I don't know, whatever. Everybody to each his own. I mean, I would never have thought of that, but
it's funny because it's like conceptually, I'm sorry he passed away, but is this your card? But in reality, there is a merit to like what it does.
Yeah, let me just forget that my person just is.
And then other people also, you know, they like to think about it. You know, it's like when you grieve, there's two sides that people think about. One, you gotta grieve because you lost someone, or two, like, what would they want us to do? You know, like if you have opportunities, right? Like, don't put your life on pause because you lost someone.
Right, of course.
Remember,
that's the way that
remember
that
person would want you to pursue it. He'd be mad. He or she would be mad if you put your life on pause for that.
Right.
They're like, what if you believe in?
I can
like,
already see some people. Your other film was
you.
like, how dare them? What do they think this is? There's no respect doing magic tricks at a funeral. I don't like. People don't get it. Like they don't like, and you know.
Yeah, but it's always in like, you know, everyone comes to support the person that lost a loved one.
Right.
And that's the same person.
But you know
that
what?
brings me.
That's interesting enough that you say that. You know, like obviously, you know, being in funerals obviously is not fun. But doing something like that, I guess, is different. Like you said, to boost morale. You know, just like sometimes I would think with funeral homes. Also, it's like, why does it always have to be a dark and dingy place with the same? Every funeral home across wherever you go is always the same furniture, the same colors, the same patterns, the same dull. I said, where is a place where, you know, where something's more chic, you know, modern? How about, you know, skylights? How about painted white, you know, walls and maybe more light and brighten up the room, you know, and then obviously have somebody, you know, to do stuff like that. It's just to change, like you said, the morale and change, you know, I guess the mood and stuff like that, you know. So it's absolutely something different. So because you did this, so I won't say late, I wasn't early. Do you look up to a magician or somebody who's out there? Is there somebody you admire, somebody that you?
Nah, I like, you know, at first I was like, oh, I'm interested in this magic thing, like. I don't know anything about it.
Like, have you gone to see any
Yeah,
shows?
I have. But,
Okay.
you know, when I first started after Italy I reached out to some magicians, wanted to get perspective and talk to them and see. And, you know, none of them, I guess, took me seriously or thought I wasn't taking magic. I don't know why, but they were all like, they threw me away. They didn't really help me. They didn't communicate. They were fake. And I was like, all right, I'll figure this out myself. I don't know the magic stuff yet, right?
Did it impress you, though?
That didn't impress them.
I
was just interested in learning.
It didn't impress him. He's like, no.
Well, I'm the worst person.
Let me show you now what I can do.
No, like if I was never a magician, like I'm honest, like I would, even if I didn't know magic, didn't know how anything, I would be the worst person to perform for. Like
Okay.
I appreciate
So
things.
you don't
and I
have the
enjoy-
same reaction as
I
your
don't
audience
have-
have. You wouldn't
no.
give that same reaction.
No, I just
So
in
it's
general.
like you like to receive it, you don't like to give it.
No, like yeah, no. I mean, yeah, everyone loves praise, but just in general, like I'm very calm, right? Like
Okay.
you tell me some mind-blowing thing, and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Okay.
But like a magician doesn't want to do a whole set, like you know, you bring me up on stage.
Right.
The person on stage, that's your audience.
Okay.
Right? Because if the person on stage is happy, everyone in the seats is going to be happy. If that person is sad, everyone there. You know, like if you're doing mentalism, right? You got to be careful because if you tell someone to think of a loved one, and they think of, let's say, a deceased person, someone they love
But
that
when you
passed.
say that,
Yeah,
when you
but-
talk,
but-
is that considered like, is that just a guessing that you think, or is that really some sort of an ability, of the third kind
No,
or something?
it's a skill.
or-
It's a skill. It's something you practice. You can't just read minds. Like if someone goes up to you and says, point blank, no nuances, I'm gonna read your mind, they're a scammer. That's fake.
Okay.
You can't just go up to. But there's ways to get people to, think in a certain way that you want. You can guide them mentally. You can do. There's steps you can take to actually read their mind in moments and at times. But overall, there's no person that could just be like.
It sounds like
Maybe
you need a
one
lot
day
of-
there will be, but-
investing a lot of time. That's a serious craft to take. It's like
Oh,
studying.
it's tough.
And,
It's definitely
yeah.
tougher than magic because any trick you do is, it's pretty much going to hit every time because it's a trick, right? Like you know how to do it, and if you follow what you need to do to do it,
Right.
it's going to work.
Okay.
And the nuances of why it fails or goes wrong are very small and very easy to fix, or you could versus like, if you pick a card and I get it wrong, I could do something with the wrong card to get the right one. It's
Right.
a simple example. But if you think of a person that you love, right? If you think of like, I don't know, your sister, and I say your mom's name, like I'm not switching your mom to like, you thought of your sister. I said your name, like I'm wrong. That's it. There's no jumping around. And you see a lot of stuff, like if you want to Google this, like times where people have messed up, it's so funny where like they're just so bad and they don't know when to take. Like sometimes if you mess up, you just gotta move on.
Right.
You don't try to recover. It's bad because there's people that'll be like, you're thinking of. So let's say the name was Linda, right? They'll be like, you're thinking of someone. They're like, yes, someone important. Yes, it's a guy. No, it's a girl. Yes. Well, it's like, yeah, if it's not a guy, it's a
Right.
girl. But then you're like, yes, and they're like, okay, think of a letter, and you think of a letter. They're like, there's a A, and you're like, no, there's an E. Like, no, there's an I. No, oh, there's definitely an O or a U. Well, yeah, every word has an A, I, or U. But you're like, yes. And then they keep going, and then they're like, who is
But by
this?
that time already, I'll be like, well, if
Yeah.
you were really a mentalist or,
No,
then
but
you would have to ask me so many
but
questions.
The funniest part is like there's videos on YouTube where people did this on live TV and they're completely wrong, and then they go back and like, it's your sister, yes, and it has an E in it, yes. And this, and they're like, see, I didn't get the name, but I knew it was just like, no. you
Right,
told them it was that. Like, if you watch the
exactly,
video,
yeah,
the guy
no.
goes, is this your sister? And you say yes, but he goes, I figured out. It was like, you didn't do anything.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it's funny.
Well, it's tricky to say,
It's funny when you watch those fails. If you get it wrong, you just
Yeah,
gotta go do
absolutely.
something else or twist.
So, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go ahead and go to our commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna come back with more, and I want to see something live, something's going
do
on.
it.
So, people, stay tuned, and let's see what kind of magic we can get going here.
Let's do it. Put an X on her hand without even touching her. I'm going to draw an X on my hand right there, nice and neat. Now, the problem with sharp is it's very difficult to rub off. But as a magician, I can go 1, I can go 2, I can go 3. I'm going to take the X, I'm going to throw it in your hand. 1, 2, 3. Now, open your hand.
So, welcome back, people. Did you watch that little clip right there? So, I try to analyze that clip a little, and the only thing that I came up with was something in that marker. I said, there has to be some. I don't know exactly how it got into her hands. That to me was a little bit creepy. But I said, I have to figure this out. So, is that part of the magic trick, or is that part of the being mental?
Well, that's a magic trick,
Is
right?
that a magic trick, or is that being the mentalist part of it?
Well, that's a magic trick, right? You see, like, here's an X. I took the X. I gave you the X, right? There's nothing. You're not thinking about anything. You're
Right,
not
okay,
It's
okay.
visual, right? Anyone sees what's going on. I'm not asking you to think of anything or make any decisions or influence you. It's just, hey, X, here, there. It's straightforward.
Okay. Well, before we get to anything else, I do a little something on this show. It's a little segment called What Now? So it's basically, we just got to figure out, we're going to talk about a little bit of what's trending out there, like what's going on in the world, because there's always something going on, So we're just going to take some time, and we're just going to see what's going on out there. So let's see our first one. Okay, so I wanted to bring this up. So just even without even looking at the headlines, okay? Without looking at the headlines, you see, and I have nothing against tattoos, obviously, right? Because, I do have them myself. But just the type of tattoos that he has on his face, even with the glasses and all that, already
I think
gives
that's
me...
a tattoo.
They are
Glasses.
tattooed. His face is tattooed on.
The glasses are tattooed.
I
Right?
think everything is. I'm not sure. Well, anyway, just the horns itself, just the bottom black. It gives me creepy vibes as it is. Okay, but what's more disturbing is that that he actually, I believe he shot his girlfriend 12 times and then hit her body, right? But then he was trying to, I think, take her out from one place to another because it started to omit a smell. Like, what would you think what's going to happen after hiding her body for days? But why? Listen, it's bad enough that you even have the mentality to want to kill somebody. Nevertheless, your girlfriend. But for the girlfriend, condolences, to the family. But what do you see in this man that already gives you these vibes with these horns? Like, oh my God, that would have been my first flag. How, like, I mean, I'm not saying that people with tattoos or face tattoos can't be loved, but isn't it sad that now this is the stigma that they give? Like, here it is, this man with these tattoos, a horns tattoo, and what made him? It's, that's not even the question. The thing is here, why did it even happen in the first place? Just even the caption alone, without reading it, it gives me creepy vibes, So, ladies, even men, just, my goodness, just be very careful of who you choose as a mate. And I'm so sorry that happened, but this is the this is the world we live in. But that's that. What's the next one, Bobby? Oh, and another sad one. So here we have this orca. Now we know that orcas live for a very long time. 50 years in captivity. This popular Miami orca just died, and the officials have planned to release her into the ocean so she can live the rest of her life out in the ocean. So my thing is, why would you have to wait so long to then plan to bring her out? I mean, 50 years in captivity. What? Now you feel bad? Like, I don't, do you see that what's going on here? Like, poor orca, like, that's already, how long was she living already that? The orca could have been 100 years already. How do you even know? So we're so sorry, orca.
Well, the orca was 4 when they got it. It was a 4-year-old orca.
Was it a 4-year-old orca?
Yeah, so now that means it died at 54 years. I don't know how long they live for, but.
Well, but this is what I'm saying. Why would you want to wait so, and after 50 years, do you really think after being captive after 50 years, the poor orca is going to want to go back into the wild? Forget what it is to be in the wild. Like, I mean, I know that a lot of people, the pros and cons, release them, they deserve to be in the wild. But after that long, you having somebody in captivity and just letting them go like that, I mean, what makes you even think that they're even going to be able to survive out there? So, so sorry for the orca. And I just think from the beginning, the get-go, just don't capture any animals, especially if they're already you're bringing them from from their natural habitat. Just like leave them alone. And our next one is I thought this was pretty funny, and I just had to I had to put this up. So you had in some kind of a restaurant, you had a woman who slips on prosciutto and breaks an ankle, and they sue for $50,000. Like, how many times have you stepped on a salami piece or a meat or like, isn't that just easy to do? It's like a spaghetti. Let me just throw it on the floor, and it's just like incredible what people do, or what, like, how do you slip? It just makes me laugh of the things that the people do out there, But that's there you have it, It's just like the weird things that happen, and I'm sure that wasn't magic that they did. But what do you have for us, Josh?
Let's do this. Okay, so if you're honest, watching at home, stuff on live always seems set up.
Everybody, pay attention. This is very important.
So first, we have to just clarify: we didn't set anything up. We didn't plan anything. You don't know what's about to happen.
Absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Okay.
Nada.
Good. So, do you know what a memory palace is?
No.
No. So you know how people like to do different things to help them remember things? For example, like when we were younger, right? We learned the alphabet. But if someone told us 26 letters in a row, we wouldn't remember it.
Right.
But they gave us a song, and we grew up singing
Absolutely.
songs. So you have ways like songs where you sing it, and it helps you bring back the whole
Absolutely.
alphabet, right? Like when people, nowadays, right, you ask someone, what's the letter after like L, and they're like singing it in their head.
Absolutely.
And that's one way people do it. It's mnemonics. You have songs, or maybe like abbreviations where like you think of something shorter, like, how are you supposed to remember what the best is? Well, the best means greatest of all time, so people coined the term GOAT. So there's a lot of different ways in which we use things to remember, or maybe a memory, right? Like, say you needed to remember to buy red roses for something you're going to today,
Okay.
and you don't have a good memory, and you're going to forget.
That'll be me.
So maybe you might associate that with a memory, right? Maybe you say, what do I have to do that I don't forget to get the red roses tonight? And maybe your mom loves red roses. That's where you're
Right.
like, Mom's favorite flower is red roses. Mom, think of your mom,
Right.
which will think of the roses, which will
Okay.
remind you to buy it there. So
Right.
the idea is we're associating different memories together to
Okay.
do that. And we're going to try to go along that thought
Okay.
in order to divine something for you.
Okay.
So for you, we're going to work with vacation. Do you like traveling?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So we're going to go on a vacation.
Okay.
We're going to have you go on a destination. Can you imagine going to that destination?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to a place. You're in that destination. Have you been there before?
No.
No. So this is like it's like a projection. Maybe you're manifesting. Would you want to go there one day?
Yes.
Great. So you're there. Now imagine you're walking the streets and try to picture what you would see in front of you, right? What kind of shops might there be? Restaurants or cafes, street performers, I don't know, whatever you might see. Beaches, if there are any, or swimming pool, whatever your vibe is, right? If you're in a resort, what kind of stuff you're getting, what kind of food you're trying.
Right.
And you're enjoying the trip, you're having fun, and you're there for a good time, right? You get to get everything you want. You're getting some nice souvenirs. Maybe you're with people. I don't know if you prefer to travel solo or not. Do you prefer to travel solo or with groups?
No, definitely not.
Groups?
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine like the group you would bring to this
Right.
vacation,
Okay.
how they're acting, how they're interacting, right? If you're going out, you're drinking, you're clubbing.
Okay.
And you're starting to picture all these memories and these moments, and they're kind of coming up together into like this scene. Like
Right.
It feels like it's happened because you feel like you're in there. You're mentally there right now.
Right.
And suddenly a magician in a white blazer comes up to you.
Okay.
Now, do you freak out like, oh no, or you're like, okay, let's see what he has?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so he's gonna show you something. Now,
Okay.
typically, something magicians always carry is obviously a deck of cards, and I have one on me as well. So this
Oh.
magician in your vacation that you're visualizing is gonna
Right.
come up to you.
Okay.
And he's gonna show you the cards. He's gonna
Right.
show you that they're all different, and then someone's gonna say, oh, but can I shuffle them? And if he's a good magician, he'll say yes.
Okay.
And he's gonna give the people the cards, and your friend, whoever whichever friend you're with right now that is most likely to call him out and something like that.
Okay.
Is shuffling the cards, and he or she gives him the deck back, and he looks at you and he goes, "What's your name?" And you say,
Linda.
"Linda." He says, "Hi, Linda. Nice to meet you. We have this deck shuffled. Your friend just shuffled them, and you saw that they're all different. I'd like you to take a card."
Okay.
Can you imagine taking that card out, and you're looking at it, and you're showing everyone this card? But you're not showing
Right.
that magician, you're showing everyone.
Okay.
Now, to the audience, they've just heard me talking and you visualizing something.
Okay.
So you want to bring that audience into this memory. So
Okay.
that card you were holding and showing everyone, because it's not a physical card, it's in a memory, why don't we tell the audience, what card is it?
The King of Hearts.
The King of Hearts. So she
Yes.
went on a memory to a trip to a vacation, we don't know where, with her friends, and a magician came up and shuffled cards, and her friend shuffled cards, and she chose out of 52, 53 if you include the Joker, the King of Hearts. You show everyone the King of Hearts. Now, I know it, but I'm not the magician in this memory. I'm the magician here today, so it's okay.
Okay.
The King of Hearts.
Yes.
You're showing the audience. You guys don't physically see a King of Hearts, but you know it's the King of Hearts. But the audience is curious. Where did you decide to go on vacation? So where is it? What city is it?
Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Yes.
You've never been to Tokyo?
No.
Interesting. Okay, cool. So
I
you
just think it's an interesting place.
you had a memory palace of different vacations you could have gone to, different
Yes.
cities that could have come out. And each city, had it been something else, would have been a different experience.
Okay.
The food would have been different. And the culture would have been different. The people, maybe even the people you bring with you would have been, maybe even the magician that comes up to you would have been, maybe he did different decks or a different
Right.
trick. But you created this memory yourself of going to Tokyo,
Tokyo.
and a magician came up to you in Tokyo and had you pick a card, and that was the King of Hearts.
Yes.
It's a very specific and unique combination, right? 52 cards, right?
Yes.
But if you think about how many different cities there are, that's a lot of, that's probably more than the 100 by 100 trick I did to you when I first met you.
Yes.
So infinite possibilities of a card in a city, right? It's
Right.
52.
You're scaring me. Go ahead.
It could be 52. You could have 53 different. This could play 53 different ways in Tokyo alone.
Okay.
And all the other places. But we
Right.
ended up with the King of Hearts and Tokyo.
Yes.
Now, during the show, there's commercial breaks and everything, but people ideally see us here. And again, for anyone just joining on, we have a trick.
Yes.
We didn't set anything up.
No.
We didn't talk about this trick. We didn't plan it. Until you asked me to show you a trick, you didn't even know that was going to
Right.
happen. And you came up to Tokyo and King of Hearts yourself. This whole time, before we even started, before you might have even got here, we see this like globe on her desk.
Yes.
Could you pick that up for me, please?
Okay.
Do you see something under the globe? Before you look at the other side, do you see something?
Yes, I see a card.
A card. Can you take that in your hand, put it face down?
Oh my
Don't look at it just
God.
yet. One card. It's been sitting here the whole time. You didn't even notice it, and I haven't even gone to your desk. You came up with a memory of Tokyo and King of Hearts.
Right.
Please look at that card.
No way! Wait, what? Wait, it's a picture of me.
A picture of you. Does it say anything at the top
It
left?
says Tokyo and the King of Hearts. No freaking way, people. Bobby, can you get a close up of this? People, look. Here we go. Bobby, look at this, people. It's a picture of me, and on the upper hand corner it says Tokyo, and right here is the King of Hearts. No, sorry. No, this is not real. People, this is not real. Where was I? Was I put to sleep for a minute? Bobby, we have to rewind this tape. Did something happen? Was I put out for a few minutes for this to happen? OMG, oh my God. There's no way. There's no way, people. There's no way that he got this. Nice picture, by the way. Wow. Josh, that is some trick. I'm going to really fall asleep trying to figure out. I don't even think I'm going to fall asleep. I think I'm going to be up all night wondering, how did you know? How did he know? Oh my God. This is creepy. Josh, thank you for this.
Of course.
And everybody that was tuning in, you have to follow him. Josh, can you let everybody know where they can find you? Where can they hire you? Where? Because this is incredible, people. I'm still in awe of what's going on right here.
Sure. I'm JoshPele, as you see on the screen, JoshPele Magic. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. JoshPele Magic. You can go on my website, joshpelemagic.com. You can email me, joshpelemagic@gmail.com. You can Google me, JoshPele Magic, and message me anywhere. And I'm happy to show you this live. If you don't think it's real, book me and find out.
I just can't. I don't believe it. I'm still in awe. I'm still in awe. Josh, thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Thank
been a
you
pleasure.
for making my mind boggle now. Okay. Thank you so much. Now I'm gonna go and I'm a believer in magic. I am a believer. I was not before till Josh came into my life, and now I am a believer.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for coming on my show.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Has been a delight to actually see something like this. Do I get to keep this?
Of course.
Oh my God, I get to, when did you even do, no. This is not even real. When do you even have time to do this? No. I'm going to figure it out. People, whoever was watching, please help me figure this out. So, did you see that? Guys, thank you so much. I hope you had fun just as much as I did. I just want to give, before the show is over, Unlocked Hollywood Unlocked. Thank you so much for the What Now. That's where I get my info from. You know, I just got to give them the credit for that. Thank you so much. And also for everyone who asked me about the birthday shout outs. They're wondering, how did you know it was our birthdays? Well, you know, if you're my friend on Facebook, you get the notifications that says it's your birthday. That's how I know. And if you're not a friend, then become my friend. Follow me at Linda Lynn and Could Be You TV. And also, if you want to give a shout out, birthday shout out, any kind of shout out, you can always email me at couldbeyoutv@gmail.com. So there you have it. People, thank you so much for joining in. Once again, Josh, thank you for joining in and being my special guest tonight. It was amazing. Thank you. Everyone, have a good night. God bless you. Los quiero, los amo mucho. And before we leave, I'm going to leave you with this inspirational video. And I'll see you next time. Same place. All right? I love you all. Thank you so much for joining in. So, bye. To all the people having birthdays, let's be grateful, right? Let's be grateful that we have another birthday to celebrate, enjoy life. I don't know about you, but I love life. And I love my life. And everyone has their ups and downs. You know, life is not perfect. It's what you make of it. And I want to live. I want to live every day. I want to see beautiful things. I thank God every time I wake up each morning. You know, my mom always instilled in me, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is just thank God for giving you that gift to open up your eyes and to see the world and to see, you know, I'm going to fight for my life. I'm not ever going to put my life in danger because I love life